Hello, my name is Priscilla Hintz Rivera Knight, and I'm going to be talking to you about the Tainos, our indigenous ancestors right here in the Virgin Islands. Now, the word Taino translates into good people, and the Taino were seafaring indigenous peoples of the Bahamas, the Greater Antilles, and the Northern Lesser Antilles, which is where the Virgin Islands is located. Now, they were one of the Arawak peoples of South America, and the Taino language was a member of the Arawakan language family of Northern South America. The Taino people were skilled navigators, traveling throughout the Caribbean in their canoes, and they farmed things like cassava, corn, sweet potato, guavas, and pineapple. They had complex social systems, and they created their own art and music. Now, the Europeans first encountered the Taino people in the Caribbean in 1492. Now, the Taino language is still used today. We use words in both the English and Spanish languages, such as barbacoa, which means barbecue, guayaba, or guava, canoas, or canoes, hamaca, or hammock, huracan, or hurricane, are all words derived from the Tainos. The Taino people loved nature, and they created art and symbols that were directly connected to their spirituality. They created things like rock art carvings that we know of as petroglyphs. And some of these petroglyphs can be found right here on St. John in Reef Bay. We also found semis, which is a collective term in the Caribbean Taino culture for sacred things. They created these semis out of wood, stone, and cotton. Now let's talk a little bit about the Taino dance and their music. The Taino rituals occurred in the bates, and this is where they express their lovely music in their dance. The sacred dances known as arietos, along with music, games, trades, storytelling, and ceremonies, were all held in the bates. These dances usually took place in the center of the village, surrounded by the boios, or their huts. That's where they lived. Since the ancestral Tainos did not have a written language, little is known about the Taino musical lyrics. But we do know about the Taino instruments. Tainos did make their own instruments, and variations of these instruments are still used in the Caribbean today. The Taino instruments were principally percussion instruments, which is typical of indigenous peoples across the Americas. The maraca and the Guido were played as well as drums. Conch shell trumpets and flutes made from bones or reeds were also played. Do these instruments look familiar? Also in the Caribbean, the Taino people are known to be the first peoples to use the Guido. This is a gourd, a Taino gourd. Tainos created an instrument known as the guaje. This is a long gourd, where they would use animal bones with notches. These were known as the ancestors of the modern Guido. The Taino also used different types of drums. One such drum, called mayahucan or bayahabao, was a wooden silk drum. The drum was made of a thin wood and was shaped like an elongated gourd that measured up to 1 meter long and half a meter wide. The Spanish, who wrote most of what we know about the life and culture of the Taino people in the late 15th and early 16th centuries, were amazed by the vibrancy of Taino song and dance, by the pulsating rhythms of their percussion instruments, and by the fact that Taino men, women, and children of all ages and all social levels sang and danced together. Caribbean peoples continue to be inspired by their native ancestors today. They're reconnecting with their native heritage by recovering local traditions and preserving natural resources. Now let's hear some Taino music.